And watercolor trees with a lot of foliage can go flat real quickly. Before you know it, everything has equally detail and we lost the sense of depth. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to simplify a scene like this, how we're going to push some of those trees in the back, and by putting some detail where it matters, we're going to have in the foreground, we're going to create that sense of depth. So let's go ahead and let's start painting. So let's get started. We're starting with the background foliage first because that's what sets the depth. And for the whole scene, I want these distant trees to stay cooler, softer, and with much less detail than what is going to come forward later. Now these colors, I made it like a gray type of green by using gold green with some gray and a hint of turquoise. And we using these mixes of grays because that's what is going to push everything in the back. Templates and the reference picture for out on my Patreon if you want to skip the drawing and just go straight to painting. There's going to be a lot of foliage. There's going to be a lot of foliage all around here. I do not need to put a sky. You will see how it's not needed. So now this is dry and we're gonna come with a second layer more by putting this darker, a little bit of darker colors. We're pushing this first color even farther away. Again, it's intentional that I'm not putting a whole lot of detail because two things, cool colors and not a whole lot of detail is what is gonna help us create the depth that we are aiming for here. And of course, if we're not putting details there, that means that we are saving our details for the things that are close. I want to be a little bit darker here, like to mark my horizon line a little bit better. So to the same color that I'm using here, I'm adding just a touch of indigo, but you could also use Payne's gray or neutral tint, whatever you want. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to paint to keep my tree trunks. I'm doing the negative painting, but by painting these, you see my tree trunks are appearing. So that's what we call negative painting. Like I said in other videos, watercolors are transparent. So if I put a dark color, and meaning if I put a dark color and if I go with a lighter color, then the lighter color will not show. I want this to be lighter, so I'm painting around it. Okay, we will have a big thing of color here that it will be lighter. And we're almost done with this distant line of trees. And yes, right now things look a little bit messy and not like much, but stick with it because once I put the tree trunks, that is what is going to help organize all of these and make sense of it. So I'm just going to bring more of this foliage a little bit here, and then we can move on to our bigger shapes. I'm going to start moving forward now that we already have the background, and the colors are going to start getting a little bit warmer. So I'm going to come over here with my primary yellow. This is my Hansa yellow light. This is one of the easiest ways that you can create depth, okay, by not changing everything, just changing the temperature of your colors and the amount of detail that you put on them. I mean, I am still not going to paint every single leaf. Here, that will drive us crazy. Now to the yellow, to the Hansa yellow light, I brought a little bit of gold green. I'm dropping it here and there, bringing other colors. So what do? I'm bringing some of my gold green by itself so I can start darker because it will be some shadows and whatnot. So that's gonna give me shape. Start giving some shape to this tree. Sap green by itself. So I want that like this. Maybe drop one or two here. Nothing major. It will not stop, suddenly. So I just drop a couple of these. A couple of them here too. And then I go with the sap green and a gold green. Top to as to bring a transitional color between those and these. And like I said before, this is the stage where our painting looks messy, very messy, but pretty soon everything is going to start to click at the same time. We are putting these darks, which separates our layers, and we don't need the darks everywhere to give us these big shapes that make sense as a tree instead of having to paint every little detail. Drop a little bit of water here and there, and that's going to give you those, you can see it, those textures as leaves instead of having to paint every single one of them. It's always a lot more efficient, more natural, and easier to paint. Let me go with a little bit of indigo. That's going to be enough to separate this plane, which is closer to this one that we painted before, and push that one farther, even farther away. So just a little bit, hint here and there, that's all we're gonna need. I'm coming with same Hansa yellow light, but thicker, so that I will allow more of blending. You will see in a minute. If not, all my color will dilute, and I want to stay in places like I've been having it there. So I start with that. Now I go with the gold green, put some gold green and Hansa yellow, put some of there. Now I come and I drop water. Again, just tap it. I'm not going like that. I'm not spreading it. I'm just tapping it. All right, so that's gonna give me a lot of texture. Now I'm coming with my sap green, dropping some over there because I dropped the water. You see how beautifully it's painting the leaves for me instead of me having to do it. Let's just bring a little bit of that viridian that I brought over there. Let's just get some here and there too. This is very thick. Once again, I'm gonna get this time gold green, and then I'm gonna put the gold green next to the viridian. Tap, 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 tap it, tap it. Let me bring some darker colors. See if I can do it while the darker, or if not, I will have to wait, let's see, till it dries a little bit more. Let's try. No, yeah, let me dry it. Let me wait till it dries. I like moving to paint the trunks while the foliage dries, because that way I'm stopping myself from overworking the leaves. And I'm coming here with a gray, burnt sienna, and French ultramarine, especially from these back trees. That's how I like to keep some of them quiet in the back, and then I will give more attention to the ones that are here closer to the front. And this is also helping us create the depth that we're aiming for in this paint. Wait a little bit first on this side, and then come with the gray color, a little bit darker, and let these two blend here. And that makes the roundness of the tree trunk for you. Start warming these tree trunks, especially the close ones. This is a very diluted glaze of burnt sienna. I'm gonna allow some areas to have white burnt sienna here and there to give it like the sun is hitting our tree trunks. We did it in that one. Let's just do it into this one too. I'm mainly putting it like in this bottom part, which it will be more light coming through here. The big foliage, we will stop some of the sun from reaching this part and the top. Although since I have that color in my brush, let's just put, we're gonna have like a path so we can go ahead and start bringing some of that color here. So this is green gold, a little too bright. I want to leave a few whites here and there because I will put some wildflowers. If I have white, the colors of my wildflowers will be a little bit brighter. And this is my burnt sienna that I decided to put a little bit brighter here. Basically an underpainting of gray, different greens. Let's just continue to work on our tree trunks. Now I'm gonna put it this time grays because we're gonna have a lot of shadows, like light and shadow. Cover so all of this part of the tree. Let's just have another one coming this way. Over there, a little bit lighter. Some of our original burnt sienna is showing. We want that. We're already getting light and shadow. We are allowing it to read like if it is a sunny day. Separate this tree, this branch that is growing over there. I want all of this in gray. So I covered it up. It's not green, kind of like a triangle, okay? It will go like this. This can come a little bit higher. All right. And let's go with water. Start allowing some of the burnt sienna to show, or I can come and put some, which I think that's what I'm gonna do. Some they are darker. This is wet, so they're gonna blend together. Back to the grays. Let's bring them some over here and some over there. I don't want to blend this too much. I'm creating a bark texture, if you will, and the detail of this type of trees. Now, this is also allowing me to bring my trunks like they are closer to us. All right, so let me put a stopping point here, and before this dries, let's get these branches coming from here. A little bit of water there, and let's bring some burnt sienna, create this area like if it is going round. I'm coming here with a little bit of neutral tint, but you can use whatever you have, neutral tint or black even, Payne's gray, whatever color you have, just to darken that slightly more. And then I go back to my grays, darker at the bottom. Let's go a little bit lighter, and some areas I can just drop water. And now we got texture and our tree trunk. And for our last one, again, all of these will be gray. We'll go around here. Let's see if my tree burnt sienna, hint of sienna there, little lines, breaking it down. Go with water, with a thinner brush, and then we will come with details in a minute, like branches, and like this one goes over here. It may continue to go this way too, things like that. Put this a little bit more on a shadow. So I'm just making my values a little bit stronger. All right, before we move to the foreground, and we're gonna put most of our detail is gonna be here. Let's just finish some of this greenery so all our trees make sense. I'm gonna go with some of the light yellows, actually. I'm doing the same thing. Some of them I want them to come, same thing that I did before. But some of them I want them to go through what will be the tree trunks. And as I get down here, it will be darker, so I will come with darker colors. You saw me doing this before. I'm gonna fast forward. Right, this is looking good. I had to do, before we move to the final stage, I had to do one last thing, which is all of this greenery that is behind. In some cases, like here, I need to cover it up. It's not white. And by putting these colors here too, what is going to happen is that this is bringing us these tree trunks. They're going to allow them to show a little bit more. So this should go all the way till here. I was having like some greenery here, but it has almost disappeared too. So let's just bring some of that. We want this in the back. So because we want it to be in the back, I don't want to have a lot of detail. So just impressions of greenery. Right. So let's start working on our foreground. This is gold green with a little bit of neutral tint. So I go with that, and then right away I go with water. I'm gonna do a little bit of negative painting here for my tree trunk to show. And again, just go with water. Let's just bring some darker colors here. And once again, I go with water. we're gonna create, just like we got like in dark and shadow, we're gonna have a lot of shadows and grades here at the bottom. But first we had to build some of this color, especially between tree trunks. So go with kind of like doing a negative painting, and then just go with water. Like a path, a smaller path, a wider path, that also helps us create depth. So we're using a few of our tools to do that. Hence a yellow light, and we will put some pinks or reds here, especially here. Now, as you can see, I'm using a lot of my tools, cool colors, no detail in the back, more detail, brighter colors, and the front. Things are wider, things are smaller. All of that helped us create this sense of distance and depth. All right. Let's continue to build some of these grasses here. Gold green. All right. So now I'm dropping permanent rose. We're going to put a few. We are creating impressions of wildflowers. And then instead of coming just with water, I'm going to go with my Hansa yellow. And then that will give me some orange and whatnot. All right, so this is here in our foreground, and here's where everything is starting to come together. We're starting to tie it up. More color and more detail here. Like I say, I'm giving impressions of wildflowers. I am not painting every single wildflower, as you can imagine. So I went with permanent rose. Now I'm going with a little bit of reds. I tap it, tap with water. Tap. I got imagine bushes of color growing. Now I'm coming with a gold green, and then I strain some of these, especially here in the foreground. I can come and build like shadows and grasses. Go with water, burnt sienna with a hint of permanent rose. Trying to bring our darks, the ones that I was having over there. And I believe there were turquoise with sap green and some indigo, I believe. Some of these, let's just pretend that some of them go on top of our trunk, like grasses. They will grow over there. I'm gonna allow some whites to show over, like if they are white flowers. We're gonna put thinner grasses here, darker, so it pushes that in tones. We will come back with darker tones and a little bit. And then I go with this and bring it up as if there are grasses growing in between. And if I have them growing into that direction, I'm going to bring some, like if they are coming into this direction. All right, before we put our shadows on the ground, which is what is really going to bring all of our stuff together, we need to put a darks. So let's just put some over there, the same color, the same dark that I was having for the trees out there. Now, again, my brush here is dump. It has very little water. So that allows me to create some of these grasses. Like if it was too much water, it will blend everything, and we don't want that. And maybe we should put a couple of these ones growing here in between the trees. Let's just bring some to this other sides. Don't forget, we do it on one side, we put it on to put the most important thing, which is our shadows. But it's already looking really bright. We already having depth by not only the path. Yes, the path is guiding our eyes as it should, but it's also all the different color temperatures, some things being bigger, some things being smaller. The scale of it is all adding to it. How our trees were looking like if they were too sharp or too dark. Well, now that we bring in the same dark at the here, now everything, our painting has started to feel more cohesive and more put together. With a soft brush, because I have a lot of color in the bottom and I don't want to lift it. So I'm going to come with a dark shadow. I because we want this to be a day where it's like sunny. I just go with another soft brush, and then I blend. And some areas I want this to be hard, okay? And it's gonna cross over. There we go. A little bit of zigzagging. And then all of this is gonna be in shadow again. We got a lot of trees. We got a big canopy. Okay. Our gorgeous painting is almost done. We have everything put together now. Just evaluate. I would like to come perhaps with a little bit darker color here. And the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple of details. I got my neutral tint. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna come with a little hint of water. These are optionals, but these are the things that sometimes bring the pictures back to life. Tiny little details. And as you can see, we can continue to create depth in a landscape full of foliage if we follow the few rules about color, temperature, and where to place our most important details. If you would like to continue to practice some of this depth and landscape, I'm gonna link a few of other videos here. Reference and tracings are linked below for my Patreon. I thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.